Hi, my name is Amar, and there's a book. Book, and book. And today we are going to read Touchdown Kid, and we already read chapter 3 and 4, so we are going to read chapter 5 and 6. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and smash that like button if you haven't. So get that do this subscribe button, press the subscribe button and the like button. I hope you enjoy. Yeah. Corey's mom took a chapter 5. Corey's mom took a deep breath and let out like a leaky bike tire. Get your pads in the car. He raced out the opener and loaded his equipment in the green Hyundai's back seat before his mom appeared in jeans with the dresser button and the car key jingling in her hand. Corey waited for her to get in. His mom started the weary engine that broke down nearly every other week. It caught and rumbled down the street. Want to tell me who it was? Corey flattered like a mosquito on the windshield and flicked it out the open window into the hot stream of air. Thought so, Corey's mom gave a north side girl. But she still knew that the west side rules. It was nice to the police to let you go. Corey said nothing to that. He knew his mom always saw the bright side of things. 20 minutes later, they were in Glenwood Park where the team was going full tilt. Corey hopped out and retrieved his gear. Hey, Mom. Hey, his mom waved him back and puckered her lips. Kiss. Mom, the guy shouldn't be looking at me. I'm your mom and I want a kiss. Corey kissed her quickly, secretly happy, and then dashed onto the field. Coach Mellon ignored him, even when he had all his gear on and helmet buckled and stood close, bouncing on his toes. He was ready for action, but he couldn't catch the coach's eye. Liam ran for a sweep for 15 yards. The Cougars coach blasted his whistle, clapped his hands, and shouted at the offense. That's the way you come off the ball, boy. That's the way to run a 46 sweep. Finally, Corey felt compelled to speak. Sorry I'm late, Coach. Coach Mellon raised his Cougars cap, scratched his bald head, and looked at his watch. Liam, you're not just late. You missed it entirely. Go home. Corey felt a chill shrink his skin. I had to help Liam's brother, so he let Liam come to practice. Coach, I did for the team. Coach Mellon kept his attention straight ahead, watching his offense. He didn't offer Corey much as a glance, but instead he lowered his silence. You can't miss practice, Polak admitted. Then he got suspended. One game, those are the rules. Flipped Flapjack, and I'm not bending them for you. You're not apt to play tomorrow anyway. You know that tomorrow is a tough one, and the Liam is coming a party. Corey already knew Coach Mellon underestimated as a football player. Also, more than once, Coach Mellon had told the team that Corey is an example of people are too smart for their own good. Not usually a good fit for the game of football. Football requires obedience, boy, Coach Mellon liked to say. It's like the army. I say jump, you say how high. Now it's time for Corey to jump. Though, now he needed to stick up for himself to advocate, which meant arguing why he was right. He was which is what good lawyers did for their clients. Coach already came late 4 weeks ago. Corey was in his element now. Practice ended 5 minutes after he got here, and you said he could play because he didn't miss practice entirely. Corey's mom used to grow up to be a lawyer if he kept himself out of trouble and hoped to prove her right. Sometimes she teaches legal terms she had heard on TV using the computer in school library. The really interesting ones he committed to memory many a night. The two of them would watch The Good Wife, and Corey would belt out little legal truths he learned from the previous show and wound up on in the light. That's hearsay. They didn't read him his rights. That judge has a conflict of interest. When Corey was finished in the FNL, he had every intention of becoming a lawyer. A good one, an honest one. That's called a precedent, Coach, he added. Like a court makes a ruling and it says it's illegal for the police to go into someone's home without warrant. Even if I'm not a starter like Allred, it wouldn't look right if you went back on the precedent that you already established. Coach Mellon turned toward him now. One of the coach's dark eye had a mind of his own and drifted, lifeless as a shark's eye, away from Corey. But his good eye had enough intensity for two. You think you're on that TV show, How to Get Away with Murder or something? Flapjack arguing with me like a lawyer? No, sir. It's just that you always say the rules are the rules. Officer Thorpe's pale green. That the rules are the rules. So Corey thought of Officer Thorpe, pale green eyes, and Coach Mellon became the latest turtle to huff him that morning. Go ahead, get in for Rashawn. He looks like he's about to pass away. Thank you, Coach. Corey flew across the grass. The football field was heaven to him. He loved the order of patting what was about to happen. Then when the things really happen, sometimes what you expected, sometimes a complete surprise. Either way, you had to react, to run and hustle, hit or dodge, block or tackle. It was like running through a thunder boomed, sending a chill up your back. Rashawn was so thick he made Corey like a scarecrow. Corey tapped out the Dogfoot Kogar to make a spot and played some defensive scout team and lined the backer in the closing minutes of practice. Some kids didn't like the scout team. Corey liked it all just so long that he was out and he ran like a puppy. Just so long, he was out there and he ran like a puppy. After the final whistle and a pep talk from Coach Mellon about the importance of tomorrow's game, Corey striped down Corey striped it down to his pants and began walking away alongside Liam. Before Corey could tell him the story about the police, Coach Mellon called him back. Uh-oh, Liam said, setting his helmet and shoulder pads on the dusty grass beneath a tree. I'll wait for you. Coach Mellon, two assistants, Coach Travis and Coach Piccolo stood with their caps pulled low and their arms folded across their chests, flanking like Coach Melon like bodyguards. Each of them had played for college football on the hill back in the day. They were gruff, serious men, but now they looked from down the room. Yeah, Coach. Corey stood straight as he stood in. Well, Flak Jack, the coach leaned sideways and spit in the ground. Don't you want to know for punishment for being late? Coach, Corey sputtered. You're not much of a football tailor. I told you that. Coach Bell knocked at his two assistants and they nodded like it was the truth. The wave of Nadia surged in Corey's stomach.
Give the review of the fight.
Coach Mellon.
Review the last.
So, basically, what in the 5th chapter, I've read that, in the 5th chapter that, Corey was late. And, yeah. So let's get started with chapter 6. Coach, Corey Spud, you're not much of a football player. I've told you that, Coach. Ellen. Coach Mellon looked like at his two assistants and they nodded like it was the truth. A wave of nausea surged in Corey's stomach. Coach Mellon sighed, but you show up, so you got a place on this team. We keep everyone at Glenwood Park. The Colgars are a football family, but when someone in your family messes up, what happens? Corey shook his head, now trying not to provoke the coach further. Coach Allen Corey slowly shook his head, trying not to provoke the coach further. Coach Mellon's lips curled with disgust. Punishment? You just lost your spot, that second string running back. Now you get to dress for the game tomorrow, but you're the third string now. The words plunged into Corey's heart like a knife. He had taken great pride in his working his way up the depth chart from 5th to 2nd string running back. He'd done it by working out, but mostly by studying the play and never making a mistake. A team like theirs needed 2 runners at least, and late in the game, he'd sometimes get some action. 3rd string was for a kid like Reggie Mann, who lacked only talent but effort. Reggie had even have to touch the ball in the last game, in a game last season. Coach's mouth sagged open. He wanted to explain exactly how it happened this morning with Finn and Hoggy and Dirty. He sacrificed himself for the betterment of the team, of taking Liam's place so that their star runner could get to practice on time. Corey raised his hand. A habit from asking lots of questions in school. It was too late. The 3 coaches had turned their backs on him and talking about the defensive strategy that to use in Corey. And Corey shook his head and shuffled back to Liam. Hey, but what happened, Liam? Corey gave him a hold. That's a hot mess. That's a hot mess. Liam scowled at the coaches. Corey's face twisted in pain and tried to muffle a certain amount of sniffing as they walked. I was thinking if I got some carries in the game. I know the HB Coach McMahon interrupted Liam. Yeah, Coach McMahon is going to be there to see him, and maybe you're going to get a scholarship. Maybe you get a scholarship, Liam interrupted again. It looks good, but I don't actually have it yet. The whole West There's West Side knows what you, Liam. Knows you will, Liam. Heck, you've already been to meet the host family. Tomorrow is just a formality. They just stepped out of the shade onto the sidewalk, and the heat wilted Corey inside and out. I just thought you now if I had a couple nice runs late in the game that I could show him something. And not if this year. I know but maybe but maybe when I'm going to into high school, I'm on his radar. Then we could play HBS together. I hear they give out scholarships to couples going into ninth grade every year too. Well, if I get there. And if I get there and do my thing, Liam put a hand on Corey's sweaty Bill's shoulder. I'm gonna tell them about my best friend. I'm gonna tell them they need the both of us if we want a state title. Corey smiled at his friend, swallowing down with affection. You know what I really want all this for, Liam, to be great. Everyone wants to be great. Liam nodded. To be great. Everyone wants to be great, Liam nodded to himself. Yeah, that. Corey said, but more. It's my mom. I mean, you see how great she is. Yeah, she is the best, Liam said. My mom is a nag, Liam. Put the trash out. Liam, pick up your brother's clothes. Liam, get me a beer. Man, it never ends. Corey hesitated a moment to create some special separation before he continued. See, all I need a chance. I'm going to see the league and buy her a big house with a pool, someplace nice, and a BMW. Where she have to don't work ever again. Ever. She could just sit out there and read her books and read her magazine. Maybe she could have a maid to bring her iced tea. And off season, Liam said, maybe we could stay there together and train and get in shape for the upcoming season. We make a bet like every other season that whoever gets the most yards, then the other guys have to take us all on a vacation, like Florida or Canada or anywhere. You too. You can bring your family if you win. I'll pay. Liam scowled and shook his head. Not them. I want to get far away from them as I can. That dampened Corey's spirits a bit. But they dropped their equipment at Corey's house and headed for the park. They spent the afternoon pushing and shoving for an open spot in the public pool at Burnett Park, leaving the water only for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They drank water from the fountain, even though if there's a line too somewhere in the city. In the city was just hot. It was crowded. That night, Corey and his mom watched the video borrowed from the library. Sleep, I'm slow. Even the wearing blade of the fancy black right next to her brought little relief from the heat tight inside their house after a day of baking. When he woke, it was game day. Nourishes electric spiders crawled up down Corey's arms and legs. Even though he didn't expect to play, Corey felt there's a silence to watch. The West Side took pride in the toughness and speed of its game. On the West Side, any football game, even like Kids Pop Warner team was a serious event. After a breakfast of Cocoa Puffs and milk, they got ready. Corey's mom wore team colors, white and green, with her long dark hair tied up in a ribbon to match her clothes. Corey dressed carefully, wanting to look good if nothing else. He checked himself in the mirror to do the final tuck of his jersey into the white pants. His mom appeared, and in the mirror, he saw the similarity in their faces: the big brown eyes with a slightly sad tail, small ears, and pointy chin. But Corey's face was rounder than his mom's, and neck much shorter and thicker. When he knew he came from his father. The last time he had seen his father, Corey had been just 4, but he could still close his eyes and pick. Corey had been just 4, but he could still close his eyes and picture the man standing in the door with his army uniform, kissing Corey's mother with a goodbye. He'd been a fist of a man, compact and strong, with a wide, round face, and his arms had wrapped around Corey's mom like pythons. Corey was 7 when his mother told him that his father was dead. They never talked about how he died, and Corey wasn't sure his father actually been killed in combat in Afghanistan. Even though that's the story had grown into an accepted fact by everyone over the past 4 years, there was never a funeral or any other mention of his father specifically, unless Corey counts the endless times his mother referred to get the punishment he'd get if he had a father. Corey suspected his mom and dad were never married, which is why he shared his mom's last name. It will also explain the absence of a funeral or any kind of army money. Maybe they had a kind of star-crossed lover, like Romeo and Juliet. As they pulled into Glenwood Park, Corey was shaken from his thoughts. 2,000 cars already had the best parking spots. We're late, Corset. You're not late here. You're not early. If you're not early, you're late. Says who? It's 9:20 and the sheet says 9:30. Coach Mellon, Ma. Coach Mellon, Ma.
Mom.
Corey launched himself out of the car door. His mom shouted at him, "Good luck!" Corey laid a hand back over his head, dashing for the field. More than half the team was assembled, already singing football back and forth. 4-3 coaches stood off the side behind the bench, surrounding a man who towered around them.
Playground, Mayor Vespera announced.
Towered over them, the HBS head coach, Coach Mel McMahon, wore a crimson and silver HBS football cap that shone like a rare jewel in the scene of green and white. Corey tried not to thirst, but as he neared the sideline to drop his water bottle under the bench, he saw Coach McMahon's bright blue eyes streaming right at him. Corey froze beneath the coach's gaze. The light in his eye gave Corey a welcome, and seed of joy burst open in his chest. Coach McMahon pulled on right him. Corey poked a finger in his own chest, still unsure. But all that made Coach McCann was smile broadly. He mentioned for Corey to come over. Come on, Flapjack. Coach Mellon's face reddened with impatience. Coach McMahon wants to talk with you. Corey marched straight for the man, feeling certain that his entire life was about to change. Now I read chapter 6. In chapter 6, In chapter 6, I read about. In chapter 6, I read about like the people, and he was playing football. He was about to get kicked out of the game, which wouldn't be good, but he got one more chance and played the game. So that's the end of chapter 5 to 6. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day, and smash the like button and subscribe button if you haven't. And let's have a and goodbye, guys.